Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be talking about Late Night with the Devil. Let's get into the video. Hello.
Hey, Spooky.
Why are you eating? We shouldn't be eating on set.
I'm man hungry. I didn't eat anything all day. I had a salad for dinner. So I'm eating these donut holes. Kind of a weird name for a food. You know?
I don't think people want to hear chewing on this channel.
It's a mukbang channel now. But it's a weird name for a food. I never really thought of that. I always used to call them, what do they call them? Dunkin' Donuts? Munchkins, yeah.
I guess only Dunkin' does that, right?
Yeah. Everybody else in the world calls them donut holes.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't want to be thinking about eating a donut hole. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about an independent film that came out called Late Night with the Devil. Directed by Cameron Cairns and Colin Cairns. This film stars David Dastmalchian, Laura Gordon, Ian Bliss, and lots of other very talented people that I've never really seen before. And it follows a live broadcast of a late night talk show in 1977 that goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. It's a great synopsis because it gives literally nothing away. The perfect synopsis, I would say, for this movie.
You want one of these donut holes?
I don't, thank you. So we actually went to see this film a few weeks ago when it was in theaters, but I did want to wait a little bit before reviewing the film because I did know that not a lot of people had the chance to see it in theaters. It was not playing everywhere. It was kind of hard for us to find it. There was only a couple theaters over here that were giving it. But yeah, the film is actually going to be hitting Shudder on this Friday, the 19th. So that's very, very exciting. And it'll be a fun little film for everybody to actually watch in their living rooms. Though I will say that this film was a lot of fun to see in a theater. And it was actually surprisingly a pretty packed theater. So I think a lot of people were very excited for this film with good reason because we came out of the theater very, very, very impressed. So let's talk about some things that we liked. Actually, maybe we'll address something at the top of the video before we talk about some things we liked. So there's been some controversy with Late Night with the Devil. A lot of people very upset, rightfully so. Unfortunately, the film does use AI artwork in some of the shots, in the little signs that say, "We'll be right back." There's no reason for AI to have been used for that. I am sure that so many artists and little horror artists that are just little nerds and dying to be hired would have loved to do something for this movie. So kind of whack. We do not support AI here. Apparently it was the art team or graphics team that decided to use AI for this. David Dastmalchian actually spoke about it in a few interviews, and the directors of the film have since addressed this.
Yeah, actually there's a bunch of articles about it. Apparently the art team had created these images using AI, and it wasn't on the director's ends, allegedly.
Okay.
Now obviously money talks here, and they were completely fine with it. But it's really upsetting. I mean, you have an art team. What's the point of using AI art? How much money are you saving as your team? Personally, I find it to be a little gross. I'm not letting it affect my view of the movie, but I am happy that we talked about it at the top And I know this one is going to piss off the Reddit bros right now, but there's really no reason to have AI art in any film.
Also, like, so many artists would have been so excited to do, like, the 70s late night show kind of horror-esque thing. So it's just kind of stupid. And also, you had a team and they decided to use AI. Like,
what the hell are we paying you for?
What's the point of them being there?
Could have got any Joe Schmo to use ChatGPT to create some shitty looking image.
It's strange, but if you want to do more research on it to get more answers, there's a bunch of articles that are still coming out about it, and interviews and things like that. But we did want to address that first. We do not support AI here on the channel.
We're not going to argue it with you in the comments either. It's stolen art. It is what it is.
We're not doing that with you. So, like, save your, like, novel that you're about to send me.
As the person is hearing us say this, they are in the middle of typing their novel out. I don't care how much Bitcoin you invested into ChatGPT. Keep it in your notes app. And that's it. We're not talking about AI shit no more. It's over. Now let's get into this very fine movie.
So, okay, going into the film, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. Neither was Cornelius. We did actually see a trailer for the film, and we were kind of skeptical. The trailer is not as good as the actual movie. The trailer, I don't know. I guess they were trying to give the least away as possible. I don't know.
The trailer kind of looked corny. I'm not going to hold you.
It did. But I was really excited because I am a fan of David Dalsmachian. He does a lot for the horror community. We love him. We stan. He was great. I'm so excited and happy to have seen him as a leading man. And I do think that this happens to be like the performance of his career. If I'm being honest, he shows so much range, and there's so much this character is going through, and he's great. He's so great, and he's really great at doing the whole like late night TV show host. I actually heard in an interview that he spent a lot of time watching old late night TV shows and was kind of practicing by watching like Johnny Carson. And also another thing that he did mention that helped him kind of prep to get into the vibe of the role, which I think says a lot. He watched a lot of films from the 70s, including Rosemary's Baby, which I was really happy to hear about. Yes, I know. Rosemary's Baby is 68, but it's almost in the 70s. And also he mentioned it, so it's not me. Come for him. But he did mention it as one of the films he watched to kind of study the era. I think Rosemary's Baby, even though it is 68, it's starting to lean towards the 70s at that point. It's the late 60s, It still has the vibe. There were other performances that were great. I do want to talk about Ingrid Trelli, who played Lily. Who is this girl? She literally has like 4 things on her letterbox, like 4 films that she's in. I'm obsessed with her, and I think that she could be like for sure big in the horror genre. She was so great. Everything she was doing was like subtle but perfect, and she was like very off-putting, and I loved that. She was off-putting, but yet she was also like kind of innocent in a way, which I really like that. It really works a lot for the character, and it did help you feel a lot more on edge. Like once she gets on the screen, you're like, where is this movie about to go? And I do want to also highlight the performance from Laura Gordon, who plays June. I think she had great chemistry with David Dalsmachian, and they both were really selling this relationship they have with each other. And I did like kind of that, like a little bit of like tension between them, a little bit of sexual tension between them, because clearly we hear that June finds him very attractive, and I think he finds her very attractive, and I just love the way they played off each other. I love that. Love some good sexual tension. So outside of the performances, let's talk about the story. This video is actually going to be with spoilers because the film is going to be streaming on Friday. A lot of people have already seen it that went to go see it in the theater, so we will be discussing spoilers. I will let you know when the spoilers begin, and you can get on out of here. Cornelius, what were some things that you enjoyed?
I really loved the pacing of this one. I thought that the comedic timing was nice. The kind of gradual build into the horror aspects makes it really effective. And just overall, it was a very authentic experience. It did really do a good job of portraying that kind of show. And really, for me, the selling point was David's performance.
Yeah, I was going to say he has a very hypnotizing performance almost. Actually, I have a fun little trivia moment for everybody. So David was actually cast in the lead role as Jack Delroy after the film directors read an article by him about regional horror TV hosts. And he had written that for Fangoria magazine, which I just think is so interesting, especially because in the film he does a little shout out to Svengoolie. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
So I thought that was a fun little nod. So the movie is a wild ride. I kind of went in thinking it was going to be one thing, and it turned out to be something entirely different. And it also ends very depressing. It's a very not feel good film, and it has a lot of heart to it. It's not just supposed to be this silly, scary movie.
It's really depressing and also really confusing. But not in a way that leaves you unsatisfied. It just makes you think about it a lot. I was thinking about the ending for a week after I saw this.
The character that he is playing is such a tortured soul.
I mean, I gotta say, actually, one sequence I really, really, really loved was the entire intro. Before the show actually
with
starts.
The newspapers?
Oh my God, it was so good. The way that they chronicle the event up until that episode.
Yeah, and they talk about him going on these culty trips.
Yeah, well just the whole thing of explaining the rise and fall of his character, really great. And I gotta say, this is my favorite found footage movie in a long time.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best found footage movies I've ever seen.
We do have to talk about that. I was very excited because I guess I didn't really realize it would be a found footage, and then I was watching it and I was like, this might be one of the best found footage films I've ever seen. Another thing that I thought was interesting is they have a character on here that is a skeptic, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, his character is fun.
He's a lot of fun. And then
I like the co-host a lot.
Oh yeah,
Co-host is awesome.
What was his name?
I don't remember, but he was such a likable actor and character.
He was great. Oh my God, let me see what was his name?
Gus. Yeah, Gus.
Gus, no, he was so great. Everybody really just understood the assignment. They really felt everybody felt like they were from the 70s.
Yeah.
And I did also really love the change, because every time we went off air, it went to black and white. And then when we were on air, it was in color.
Really good use of the black and white as well.
Yeah. The actress who plays June, I was obsessed with her. She was kind of giving me Vera Farmiga vibes, Lorraine Warren, Vera Farmiga as Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring vibes. I think it was the fit and just overall a little bit of her character, how much she cared for Lily, who I don't even know. There's so many great performances, but Lily is definitely a standout performer in the movie aside from David, obviously.
So I mean, look, we've beaten the performances to death, and I think that we can say that basically everybody gave a standout, if not career-making performance.
For sure.
I gotta say, I was just blown away by how well the story was told.
Yeah, the story was very well told. It never got boring, and it never felt like it was dragging. And the last act particularly is really mesmerizing in all aspects. Like the set and everything and what happens, like all the sequences, very dreamy, very surreal.
Phenomenal practical effects too.
Yeah, the practical effects are great. And then when the reveal happens, it's so gag worthy. Like you're like, what? And then you're just left with like dread. I don't even know. Like I think of when I have to watch the film again, and I'm like, I wonder if I'll be prepared.
Everything about this movie is sad. And you know the whole movie, there's this sense of just like oncoming dread.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, you're uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. I think, you know what it is too? I think people from the 70's were really creepy. In general. Like,
stop.
Like the culture was just creepy. Like, it was just very fake and just like, you know something bad's gonna go down. And I'm not talking about the Ronald Reagan presidency. I'm actually talking about the horror that is to ensue. So, Spooky, I feel like we basically said most things now.
We did.
What are you gonna give this one?
I am going to be giving Late Night with the Devil 5 levs out of 5.
Shut the front door.
I am. This is a film that, aside from the horrid AI situation, is pretty perfect for me. It is definitely one that I think is already one of my favorites of this year. I think it was a really strong film. It's a really strong film for indie filmmakers. I'm inspired. I was very inspired after watching the film.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the 5th time in a row, I think. I'm giving this one 5 levs out of 5 as well.
Oh.
This is the best movie of 2024.
Oh.
I don't care what anybody says. Unless Maxine blows my mind, which I have a feeling it will, and I'm sure I'm going to make it my personality. And I apologize to everyone because I'm only going to become worse as a person. Unless Maxine is a complete flop, this is the best movie of the year. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't really know what else there is to say. Like I don't even know what to say in this review. It's just that good. Like, go watch this movie.
It's true. That is it. There's nothing else to say. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments, did you check out Late Night with the Devil in theaters? Do you plan on checking it out on Shudder? Did you like it? I'd love to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Go stream Late Night with the Devil on Shudder. Bye! Bye.